You on this week's edition of Making Waves, joined now by Roosevelt University and men's soccer goalkeeper Eric Carvajal. And Eric, thanks for joining us this week. What's your assessment of the season so far as we move through the 2025 campaign?
We're growing for sure. It's a growing season. We're still figuring out the key pieces, but all I see is success in the near future for us. And that's pretty much my assessment.
You look back, you're coming off a season last year where you were able to kind of surprise the conference and win the regular season GLIAC championship and had that really tough defeat in the conference championship game. But regardless, a tremendous season last year that had to have been just to create a lot of memories for you and also for the rest of the team.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. We really did not know what to expect going into the season, and just going out there and just showing out the other teams what we have and what we're capable of and what we accomplish. It was something that would probably last a lifetime for me.
What was is there a memory that stands out as far as last year goes?
Honestly, it's probably just like the away trips, just bonding with the team, at the hotels, whether it's breakfast, eating dinner, or just kind of just relaxing with the guys. There's not really a specific memory because all of it is kind of just, it's all great memories, and I can't just choose one. It's like choosing a favorite child. You can't choose one.
It's a situation too where the travel is much more involved than it used to be for Roosevelt Athletics. How much of an adjustment was that for you?
Well, that was a big adjustment because when we were in the NAIA, it was the furthest travel, I think, would maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. Now, the farthest travel was 7 hours going near Canada up to northern Michigan. And it's just a big adjustment because our first travel, we kind of had to figure out how to situate ourselves on the bus and how it would affect us with the games, how heavy our legs would be. And it's something we had to adjust to for sure.
I remember when I took my first road trip working for a team way back a long time ago, and I thought to myself, this is a little bit different. This is a little bit of an adjustment. Did the same thing kind of go through your mind as the longer trips came about?
Oh yeah, 100%. It was just being on the bus for 7 hours, even 5 hours. We just thought the ride would never end, and it was just something very new to us. We never experienced. Actually, I'd never experienced anything like it before. I don't know, I can't say about the other guys, but at least for me, it was something completely different.
Looking at the position of goalkeeper in general, what was it? Was there a point back when you began to play early in your youth that you decided you wanted to be goalkeeper?
Yes, actually, I can actually pinpoint where exactly it was. I think I was 8 years old because up until I was 8 years old, I was always an outfield player, either a forward or a defender. And then what inspired me was my brother, actually, my older brother, Eric Carvajal. He became a goalkeeper before I did, and I would just see him making saves, and then the crowd would just kind of just react to it, egging him on. And I kind of wanted the same thing for me. I know you could score goals, but I'd rather, save games rather than winning them.
Was it a case where you saw your brother goalkeeping and you're like, I think I want to do that too?
It's exactly that. I remember it was at a park in South Chicago. He was playing, and he made this one save, and the entire crowd just erupted, and that kind of just inspired me that I wanted to have the same thing, do something good for my team, save my team from a defeat or a tie.
Did it take a while to learn that skill set as a goalkeeper? It's kind of an obvious question because I think anyone attempting something new has to do something to acquire those skill sets. But did you take to it right away? That's the point I was trying to ask you about. Did you take to goalkeeping right away?
Contrary to belief, I did not. It took me a while, actually. I used to, even up until my high school years, I was still learning some things. It wasn't up until I came to Roosevelt, it kind of just elevated my game, and it kind of elevated my level of playing, and that really kind of just set the tone for me for my career.
When you first were on the goal line and minding the net, were you thinking to yourself, this is something, do I really want to go through with this?
Not necessarily like that. There was some thoughts, just more of nervousness, of just being very nervous having my first game. But I just knew after my first game of being a goalkeeper, even being here at Roosevelt or with my club, it was something I wanted to do and something that I was passionate for sure.
What's the most fun about being a goalkeeper?
Oh, it's got to be making the saves that no one expects, something that you could just pull out of anything. You make this wonderful save that no one expects. The crowd reaction just erupts, and that's just one of the greatest feelings I ever experienced, and I like feeling.
It's got to be a situation too where when you're able to make a save like that, that just motivates you to keep on going. And
yes, exactly.
And goalkeeping is such a a different and special position because you really, in some ways, have to keep the team on your back and have their backs and make sure that nothing gets by you.
Yeah.
Because when it does, that puts the team in a little bit of a worse situation.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit pressuring, but like we've said throughout our team, pressure makes diamonds, and that's nothing more. There's a better position I'd rather be in, nothing more of a better position.
A perfect example being last year as the games went along, and this year as well. More pressure, the games become more important later in the season you get, but that's something that I think especially goalkeepers kind of thrive on, don't they?
Yes, especially for me. I love the pressure. I feel like my game just elevates a whole lot more when the pressure's on, and it's good to perform well when there's pressure because then there's nothing that people can say.
Looking ahead now as the season continues on, trying to gain another championship this year, it's always a challenge. It's always never easy. It's always, I was about to say always a difficult road, but it's never easy when you want to win a championship. It wasn't last year, and certainly now having won last year, everybody knows, the secret's out about Roosevelt men's soccer, so that makes it a little bit more of a challenge, but I got to believe it makes it a little bit more fun too.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously last year it was no one knew who we were. I feel like everyone was underestimating us. I mean, as coming in as an NAIA school, people thought we were this low-level school, but coming in and showing what we got and surprising everyone with a championship, that kind of just put into perspective what Roosevelt was about. And then this year, it's fun building off from last year and just kind of connecting the pieces for this year and working hard to get that other championship.
Going back to the conference tournament last year, championship game, you had the first game. Obviously, you were able to help your team get the win. Second game, another great performance, wound up going to PKs. What's it like in that situation when you know that it's PKs? You've got the opponent not too far away. They're trying to get the ball by you. That's got to be the most pressure that I can think of.
Honestly, for me, it's probably the most fun for me. I love going into penalty shootouts. Maybe for my team, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I can't say how they feel, when they're going up to kick the ball, but at least when I'm in the line, I know that it's the opposition's job to score on me. So there's nothing really what they expect from me. They expect them to score, and so when I make the save, it makes it fun for me. I get really excited when we go into penalties.
So it sounds like in that situation, especially with so much on the line last year, the conference championship, game went to penalties, you're like, let's go.
I was very confident. Last year, even the year before that, when we were in the CCAC championship final in penalties, both times I felt like there was no nerves going through my body. It was just all excitement, all just ready to get on the line and do my best to make a save.
What's your approach in PKs? Because from an untrained eye such as mine, is it a case where you basically have to guess, or do you have a plan going in?
A little bit of both. A little bit of, if you watch some film, you can watch what the other players, which side they like to go on, what they prefer. But growing up, I don't know what's different about me or if it's the same for any other goalkeeper, but I've always kind of based it off my intuition. And I always feel confident with my intuition. And as long as I stick to my confidence, my intuition, I think for me, everything works out well.
It sounds like it's a case where confidence is key and also committing to what you want to do in that situation, whether it's in penalty kicks or just an ordinary game situation when you have maybe a breakaway coming in and a shot's coming. You've got to have the confidence, because if you don't, that might cause a problem.
Yeah, well, for sure. Having the confidence is probably one of the most important things, and just kind of just reacting, because you don't really have time to think about it. It's kind of just go, 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 go. And so in the moment, you kind of just have a split second to think, and then after that split second, it's just reaction and your confidence that kind of will just push you forward.
One thing I've asked a couple of goalkeepers about, one is Josh Walfish, our sports information director, who plays goalkeeper, and I'm wondering, I've asked him this question, I'll ask you as well. When you have a shot coming from distance, is it coming at you pretty quickly, or is it does the ball kind of just come at you in slow motion at times?
It's a bit weird. Sometimes, like in the moment, it comes at me quick, but as you don't have time to think about it, you kind of just do what you've been taught, and so in the moment it's quick, but then after the moment happens, and you kind of replay in your head, it's kind of like, oh man, that came pretty slow, or that was like slow motion in the moment. But in the moment it's quick, but after you think about the moment, in my mind it's like slow motion. Everything just went in slow motion.
You kind of replay it in your mind, and it goes a little bit slower than maybe you thought it did in real time.
No, exactly that.
Your basic approach to goalkeeping, when you go into a game, what do you prepare for?
It's just preparing for the opposition, making sure that what I've learned throughout the week or what I've been taught, throughout my life is kind of just putting that all together and kind of just having a mixture of both, being prepared for the opposition, what their tendencies are, what side they like to go on, just a whole bunch of different things. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
It's just amazing about goalkeeping. Not that there's not any responsibility with the other players on the team, but it just seems like there's 10 times more responsibility for a goalkeeper, but it sounds like you enjoy that.
No, yeah, 100% do. But I like you said, the responsibility is also with the team, and I couldn't do any of my success without the entire team behind me.
Looking ahead, when you're going through the schedule, when you look ahead to a game, do you watch a lot of game video on the opposition to see what they might throw at you?
I do. I like to see what their tendencies are, what habits they make. But I also like to watch some of my previous film and to see what my mistakes were, what I can do better on, even if I don't have the ball at my feet, where I'm at on the field, how I can improve, and just things like that. I like to keep improving and keep just watching what I can do.
When you're in the heat of a game, do you communicate a lot with your players?
Oh, 100%. Communication is key to being a goalkeeper. You need to be talking, you need to be loud throughout the majority of the 90 minutes, if not the entire 90 minutes of the game. If you don't have communication, there could be misunderstandings, and then people don't know where to go, who's behind them and whatnot. But one of the most important things as a goalkeeper is making sure you have a loud voice and being communicative.
When you're goalkeeping during the course of a 90-minute game, are there many adjustments that you might have to make?
For me, maybe depending on the game. It depends on the game. Sometimes the game could be very relaxive where there's not many things you need to change, but then there's some games where it's just boom, 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 where you got to keep changing and keep adjusting. And it always really depends on who we play and what type of game it is at the moment.
I'm sure you notice when you're in the net that this opponent might not be taking quite as many shots, whereas you said just a moment ago, different opponents, they might have shots coming at you left and right.
No, yeah, there'll be some games where I'll have little to no shots, and there's some games where I'd have to make there'll be some games where after the game my body will feel a bit aching just because that many shots came, and I'd have to dive either to my left, to my right, and just kind of hit my body on the ground. But yeah, it's just different games, different scenarios, different situations.
One thing I want to ask you, being a goalkeeper, is that there are a lot of times situation where the ball might be floating in. There's a large group of players right in there, and you've got to go right in to the group of players and try to make the catch. It looks extremely precarious. To me, again, the untrained eye, it looks really dangerous. How do you do that?
It's all the habits that we do during training with our head goalie coach, Oscar Guzman. He's really well at preparing us for those type of situations, and just like we said before, is he's having the confidence that in your ability to make that catch or to make that play. And it's all about just what we prepared for, and having confidence is the most key.
Is it a case when you make that leap into the crowd, you almost have to forget about yourself? You have to disregard yourself because you've got to get that ball, otherwise it might result in the goal.
Yes, at least for me, I've told my teammates once before, I'd leave everything out on the field. Whether if I get injured, I hope I left everything out on the field, and it's kind of just protecting the goal and thinking about the team and the results about the team.
Is there one shot in particular that might be more difficult or the most difficult to try to stop?
I can't really pinpoint a particular shot because there could be different opponents that can shoot different ways. Some could have like a finesse, like curl their shot around me. Some could just have a straight power shot. It all really depends on the opponent and how they shoot it and their technique.
Are there certain shots that are more difficult than others?
I'd say though, just like the more bounce, like the shots that are just bouncing a lot more, because sometimes the turf or the grass is unpredictable. So if it bounces, it could bounce a different way than you expected and than you anticipated. So you'd really have to make a reactionary save on that.
Sounds like if there's a ball coming at you again from distance on kind of a line drive, you can at least anticipate where the ball is going to go and make your move. Whereas with the shots that might come in a little bit hot on the ground, that might be a little bit more of a challenging kind of save.
No, yes, because if it's a far shot, you at least have maybe not too long to think about it, but you have a little bit more time to think about it than when it's up close and bouncing and all that.
All right, Eric Carvajal, goalkeeper for the Roosevelt University men's soccer team. Eric, you've had a tremendous career. It's been a lot of fun watching you play in goal.
Thank
I'll look
you.
forward to more as the season goes along.
Thank you. I appreciate it.